Hey, welcome back friends. So now from this video we are going to starting work with EditOrder.php file, and you can see here in our action icon section we have three buttons. First is for the print bill, second is for the edit order and means edit POS means edit bill, okay, and the third button is for the delete order. So here you can see EditOrder.php and I question mark, then ID is equal to 20. So invoice ID is equal to 20. So we need to create first a new file which name will be EditOrderPOS.php. We will change the name. So let's start, and when we click it will redirect us on that page which we are going to create here in our code editor. So first let me create that page. Let's first go to the edit order, and here you can see the code EditOrder.php. So here we are going to give name EditOrderPOS.php, not edit order. Okay, so let me copy this name EditOrderPOS.php, and this will be the name for our new file. So select first our UI folder, and inside this UI folder we are going to create a new file, and that new file name will be EditOrderPOS.php. Perfect. Okay, and save our file at orderlist.php, and let's go here, refresh our file, and you can see here if I click on edit order it will redirect us on EditOrderPOS.php question mark ID is equal to 20 because invoice ID is 28. Okay, this page is blank now. So simple steps we are going to follow for creating our EditOrderPOS.php file for editing our order. Okay, simple. For saving our time we can simply copy the source code which we have already wrote in the previous video, which we have already understand in previous video. So that code we will reuse in our EditOrderPOS.php file, and new code if I will write then I will explain you that new code. Okay, now let's go on our code editor and let's go on our POS.php file. From the POS.php file we are going to select all the code, and we are going to copy that all code, and we are going to paste it all code in our new file which name is EditOrderPOS.php. Okay, so EditOrderPOS.php I call EditOrder.php file, not I will call again and again EditOrderPOS.php. Okay, it's lengthy name, that's why I'm calling it EditOrder.php. Okay, so you will get and I hope you will get what I am saying. Okay, so select all code first from POS.php and copy from here. You can see here I have selected all the code from POS.php, and simply let's go on edit order POS.php file, and here I'm going to paste it all the code. Perfect. Let's save, and let's go here, refresh, and if I click here you can see. Okay, now the page is new and the code is you can see here. Okay, so we are reusing the code of POS.php file. So simple. Now let's go and let's do write code for getting the data from the database. Just after this method you can see here function fill underscore product, and after this method I need to copy I need to get out the code from the database. So first of all here we will get out the data from the database. You can see here in our save POS.php file we are getting the data from the text fields. Okay, you can see here using of $_post method, but just forgot this section. Okay, we will change this section, but before this button code I am going to write some code. So first of all I will write ID $ID and is equal to $_get method. Perfect. Okay, So in $id I am using $get method to get the id value. Okay, so which id value you can see here, this on order list you can see here, this you can see 28, id is equal to 28. Okay, so first let me write code, then I will explain you what I have done here. So I wrote the code here, and let me explain you what I have done here. You can see here I just get out the id from the URL and using of get method. Okay, and after that I just wrote a query, simple query, select asterisk from table invoice, where invoice id $id, this variable I'm using here. So let me open the database, and here you can see our database table invoice, and here you can see invoice id, order date, subtotal, discount, SGST, CGST, total, payment type, and due and paid. So that's all values from the columns or the database we are get out in that variables using of select query. So you can see here I just get out the order date, but the order date from I get out the from the database using this column name order underscore date. So you can see here the column name order underscore date, and just like that you can see here the column name total, discount, SGST, and CGST, and so on. So you can see here in this variable dollar subtotal I just get out using of dollar row, using of the column of subtotal from the database table. So I get out the all the value of that id, of that invoice id. Okay, I just pass here where the invoice id is equal to that. So here if I select you can see the order list, if I select this button you can see the id is equal to 28. So the invoice id is equal to 28, so this invoice id 28 we are passing here. Okay, so here, okay, here in this query. So according to this id we are getting all the data of that id in that variables, you can see here. Okay, and after that I just wrote a query, select asterisk from table invoice details, where invoice id is equal to $id. Same query I just wrote here. You can see here the database table invoice and table invoice details. Okay, so the details we are getting out here, but the difference is you can see here I just use here fetch method. Okay, you can see here the difference, fetch, and here I use fetch all. Okay, so why I used here fetch all method, so let me show you. You can see here the same invoice id. If I show you the invoice id 28, let me show the data, and you can see here the invoice id is 28, 27, 20, 24, and you can see here that invoice id may be multiple 24 and 24, and the invoice id maybe 3 times 23, 23, 23. So on the invoice id 23 we have Kisan tomato ketchup, and id invoice id 23 we have Kangaroo stapler pens, and invoice id on 23 we have the third product, okay, Y omega 3 capsules. So on invoice id we have we may be multiple products. Okay, on a single invoice id we need to fetch out all the product details which belongs to the same invoice id. Okay, so you can see here the same invoice id the invoice ID is repeated 3 times, 2323, and you can see the 4 invoice ID 4 and 55. Okay, so that will product details we will show in our HTML table. Okay, that's why we are using here fetch all method. Okay, I hope your confusion is clear now. And here we need only the single values from the table invoice details. You can see here in table invoice, here we have the single values of which you can see the invoice ID 2 3 4 5 6, and you can see here the 27. Okay, if I select 50, now you can see here the invoice ID 28. Okay, so now what we can do, simply we can show these variables here. If I open our EditOrderPOS.php, now here we need to show the subtotal value, discount value, and SGST value, and total, and due, and paid. So how can we show that? Simply let's go in our code editor and let's copy this variable, copy this, and let's go here for the subtotal. Okay, and here in the subtotal we can use value attribute. So let me use value, and inside the value I can use PHP, then echo, and I can pass here the subtotal. Let's terminate this. Okay, let me copy this and let me save this, and let's go on our page. Let's refresh. Perfect. You can see here on ID is equal to invoice ID is equal to 28, and the subtotal we can show here of invoice ID 28. So let's check it is the data is right or not. And on invoice ID the subtotal is 660. So you can see here 660. Just like that we can show the data of discount, SGST, CGST, and total, and due, and paid. Okay, so let's open our code editor, and here we have already showing the discount value. Okay, in percentage, but we need to show the calculation of the percentage in the numbers or rupees or dollars. So we need to use here the calculate function. So I will show you how can we use the calculate function. So first let me show you the values of total. So here I can show the value of the total. So let's paste here, and here I can pass total. Okay, after the total, here we have the section of the payment types. So on this section, on the payment type, we will do code in the next video. Okay, but before this we need to complete this. Now here I can pass subtotal, and here I will pass due, and here I will pass paid. Okay, now save, and we can change the button here. Instead of save order, I can give here update order, and here I can change the name update order. Okay, and here I can change the class from success to info, and save. Now let's check our code is working or not. Okay, so you can see here it is showing us the subtotal and the discount, and it is not showing us the discount in rupees or in numbers or in currency. You can see here SGST, and it's showing us this total after calculating the SGST, CGST, and the discount, and it is showing us the paid amount, and due amount is 0. So for this task, for performing this task or improving this task, we need to we need to do code in our calculate function, which we have wrote in the previous videos. Okay, so let me show you the calculate method. You can see this. Okay, this is our function calculate. So using of this function we are able to show that value. So we need to write code here. Okay, so we will write date code in the next video. I hope this is enough in this video. You got it what I have done here. We can also change the name here. So first let me change. Okay, and here I can add edit order POS. Okay, and here instead of primary I can give info. Let's save and let's refresh our page. Perfect. Okay, and I can give here instead of info danger. Save, let's refresh. Perfect. Okay, so we will write code in the next video. I hope you got this what I have done here in this video. So see you next video.